The land along the riverfront, marked as a potential Amazon HQ2 site, is now freed up. Cincinnati fell short of the shortlist. The self-reflection's underway.
It's hard to not be disappointed when we put together the submission that we did.
Chamber of Commerce CEO Jill Myers sees Indy and Columbus on the list ahead of us and wonders.
They are a few years ahead of us on their investment in transportation as an economic development tool. So we have started our conversations and our acknowledgement that we need to strengthen our transportation system.
So now for the area's leaders, it's a matter of moving past the spilled milk and tears, past the disappointment, and on to trying to take a bite of Apple's $30 billion investment plan.
We're going to apply for Apple, and the best baseball players don't get on base about 65–70% of the time. So we got to keep stepping up to the plate and swinging.
While Amazon won't be anchoring here, it has already made a $1.6 billion commitment to this region. It's indicated it will give constructive feedback about Cincinnati's bid. The hand-wringing started and ended quickly today.
We learned about working together regionally. I think that's very important.
The mayor says the available footprint at the banks could be an Apple enticement. In the same breath, it's viewed as suddenly making the music concert venue idea more viable.
Now, it's on county land, so it's their call, not mine, but I'm glad to see they're going to do that. I think that will add a lot of vibrancy to the banks.
Of course, it's not a certainty that the concert venue idea is a go, but Hamilton County Commission staff will take a close look at it come Monday morning. Reporting live at the banks, John London, WLWT News 5.
All right, John, thank you. By the way, here's a list of the 20 finalists. Some are obvious because of their size, like New York, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Chicago. Others are tech-savvy areas like Boston, Austin, and the Northern Virginia region there. But other cities not normally considered tech strongholds are still in the running here, including some of our surrounding areas, Columbus, Indy, as well as Nashville.
Now we want to get to a story that captured hearts all around Greater Cincinnati. A disabled veteran stuck in the snow last year. The wheel on his electric chair just kept on spinning until it ran out of juice.
And a Hamilton police officer came to his rescue. But now a worse situation for this former Marine. He was hit by a car today while trying to cross the road. And WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson is live in Hamilton with this story you will see only here on WLWT tonight. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Sheree. 5 days a week, Jimmy Miller can be found right here in the Butler County Government Services Building. He actually sits right here in this spot in his wheelchair and uses this outlet to recharge his chair. Then he goes across the street to McDonald's. Only today, while crossing the street, he was hit by a car. This was Jimmy Miller 1 year ago, telling me how he makes the most out of life despite being a double amputee.
It gets hard sometimes, but you got to keep living. No matter what you do, you got to keep surviving.
The Marine vet had a setback last year as he made his way down MLK Boulevard in an old wheelchair that was falling apart.
I come down a curb, and that was it. The chair just died.
Luckily, Hamilton police officer Mike Thacker was close by and pushed Jimmy out of harm's way.
He was like an angel, I mean, really, snow angel.
Now Jimmy could use the help of more angels. While crossing the same road today, Jimmy was hit by a car. A woman who asked not to be identified stopped to help him.
I stopped the car in the lane because cars were going around him and he had been thrown from his wheelchair, laying on his back in the middle of the road to see if there was any help that I could give.
The woman says Jimmy was alert and talking, but also crying.
He was very concerned with his chair, and his chair had been demolished. He was upset. He was more upset with his chair than his health.
See, the chair was a new wheelchair, one he received after our story aired last year, and one that brought this veteran independence and smiles. And last I saw Jimmy about a month or so ago, he was smiling, very, very grateful for that new wheelchair. At this point, I'm told he was taken to the hospital, and I'm still working on trying to find out his condition. Reporting live in Hamilton tonight, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
All right, Karen. Well, one of the witnesses, at least there on scene, said that he had scrapes and bumps, but wasn't really sure about any internal injuries. Let's hope that's the case.
Well, finally, the temperature is on the rise. We've got a little relief from the bone-chilling temperatures. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Robinson has Cincinnati's most accurate. It's almost like Florida forecast here for us.
You know what, Mike? Just a little bit dramatic, but I certainly think many folks are enjoying the fact that it is warming up outside. Did you hear those sounds today? That was the sound and the trickle of water down pipes and down gutters, because things are finally beginning to thaw out for us. Check out the 24-hour temperature change here. Compared to this time yesterday, temperatures are now running close to 15 degrees warmer across the Ohio Valley. And you throw in a lot of sunshine, it wasn't a bad January day, and it's only going to get better from here on out. Temperatures right now hovering close to the freezing mark for most of us. You're in the upper 20s to our east, Wilmington, Hillsboro, 26, 27 respectively. But by the time you make it to the metro, it's freezing in Mason and Hamilton right now, 29 over around Florence. So here's a look at your evening forecast. It's hard for me to say 20s aren't cold, so let's go not as cold or maybe less brutal this evening. Temperatures will hover in the 20s over the next couple of hours. The warm-up's just now getting underway. I'll let you know how high we climb by the time we make it to the weekend.
All right, Kevin, see you in a bit. Thank you. And you don't have to look very far to see the snow and the ice-covered sidewalks. Can you get into trouble for not clearing it? We investigate, and we have the answer for you tonight at 5:14.
Butler County officials now asking for help tonight after finding emaciated dogs right outside in the bitter cold we've had recently. So we do want to warn you here, these pictures may be difficult to see. The Butler County dog warden posted the pictures on Facebook, hoping someone would recognize these dogs. The dogs were found on Tuesday. As you can see there, they are dangerously skinny. So if you recognize these dogs, who they may belong to, you can call Butler County officials. That number is 513-785-6542.
A Sharonville man now charged in the murder of his wife was in court today. Prosecutors say Brian Smothers killed his wife, Leanne, and dragged her naked body outside and left it in the snow behind a dumpster. She was discovered New Year's Day. Investigators say that they linked Smothers to the murder through forensic evidence and witness statements. He's being held on more than $1 million bond.
Reacting with a mix of joy, but still some caution. That's how a priest in Hamilton feels after a court ruled in favor of a mother of four who called Fairfield her home before being deported back to Mexico. WLWT News 5's investigative reporter Todd Dykes has more on what a legal ruling now means for Maribel Trujillo and her family. Todd?
Cherie, based on a federal court's ruling, Maribel Trujillo Diaz might be reunited with her family in Butler County. No one knows for sure at this point, but her supporters have a new reason for optimism. Before she was deported to Mexico last spring, Maribel Trujillo said she fled her home country because her family had been threatened by drug cartels.
They were looking for her brother to join one of the drug cartels, but to try to get to the brother, they were willing to do whatever.
At the time, her claims did not persuade immigration officials, but Trujillo's case now has new life thanks to a ruling by a 3-judge panel of the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals in Cincinnati.
Basically, the appeals court said to the immigration system, hey, you guys didn't take seriously enough the threat that Maribel is facing in Mexico.
Father Michael Puckey is a priest at the Trujillo family's church, St. Julie Villard in Hamilton. He's pleased with the federal court ruling, which calls for immigration officials to reconsider evidence in Maribel Trujillo's case, but he's still not sure how things will turn out.
I'm not a lawyer, and so I can't say exactly, but the way that I'm saying it is that it's good news, but it's a long way from a victory.
While Puckey and parishioners wait to see how the case unfolds, they're continuing to support Maribel's husband, Gustavo, who's raising the couple's 4 children.
It's tough enough for a dad to be a single parent, but when, unfortunately, this gets such big publicity, which in a sense needs to happen, it's really tough for kids to see their mother's pictures splashed all over the place.
Now, in its ruling, the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the Board of Immigration Appeals, quote, abused its discretion, end quote, when it rejected Trujillo's argument that she could not safely relocate to Mexico. Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
All right, Todd, thank you. So Maribel's case will now go back to the Board of Immigration Appeals, which could decide to send the case back to an immigration judge to consider any new evidence.
Well, former Olympian opened the 3rd day of emotional testimony in the sexual abuse case of athletic doctor Larry Nassar. Jamie Dancer won bronze at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. She was one of the first women to publicly accuse the former Michigan State doctor of sexually assaulting young women under the guise of medical treatment. She met Nassar when she joined the U.S. national team at 12 years old. He was the team doctor.
You manipulated me into thinking you were the good guy and helping me while sexually abusing me over and over and over for your own twisted sexual pleasure. You even had the audacity to abuse me in my room, in my own bed, at the Olympic Games in Sydney.
After Dancher spoke, a prosecutor read a statement from Michaela Maroney, a retired U.S. gold medal gymnast. They are the two highest profile athletes to speak so far. Of course, Simone Biles speaking on social media. Testimony from 101 victims expected to wrap up tomorrow, and then a sentencing. Teenagers caught in rip currents too far out to be rescued by lifeguards.
Yeah, the first ever drone rescue. We're going to show it to you.
From rough surf to rough roads, the toll the ice and snow is having on places not equipped to handle winter weather.
Plus, can the flu shot actually give you the flu? Is it too late to get vaccinated? And how long does it take before the flu shot starts protecting you? We're separating fact from fiction. That's tonight at 5:30.
You're watching WLWT News 5, leading the way.
You know, it is believed to be the world's first rescue by drone.
Now, two surfers saved from drowning in a powerful rip current off the Australian coast of New South Wales. Someone spotted the boys struggling. It just so happened that a group of lifeguards nearby being trained on the use of drones. They sent a drone called the Little Ripper to help the teenagers. The drone flew over to their location, dropped a life raft, believe it or not. The boys grabbed onto that device until they reached shore. Pretty incredible stuff.
Just into our WLWT newsroom tonight, service on the streetcar has now been suspended for several days, so we're being told it's not going to be up and running until Monday now. Over the past few days, the cold has led to equipment failures. Suspending service until Monday is going to give engineers, they say, time to fix them. Metro buses will serve the streetcar route until those problems are finally fixed. Most of the snow has now been cleared from our roads, luckily, but boy, if you have tried to get around on sidewalks, maybe you do a little jogging, biking, you know that sure footing is not a sure thing here. Many cities have a code that says property owners should shovel sidewalks. WLWT News 5's Brian Hamrick now looking into the slippery slope of shoveling rules.
Well, it's the most violated code in the city right now, the one that says you should clear your sidewalks. Or should you? The snow-covered trail of violators runs for one slippery mile.
There's ice everywhere.
After another.
I've seen people slip in front of me.
Driving walkers to where drivers are supposed to be.
And you see a bunch of classmates walking on the street instead of the sidewalk.
Well, for some, a snowy sidewalk is not just an inconvenience.
This is the only way I got to get around, you know.
William Brown, getting from one place to another, has suddenly become high risk.
Makes it rough on me, you know, and I got to go to the grocery store and come back with groceries. And
Covington has an ordinance similar to Cincinnati, but sidewalks are still impassable for Mr. Brown's scooter. So he ended up dodging traffic on Madison Avenue. The only thing less clear than the sidewalks is the legalities of clearing them.
The general rule in Ohio is that you do not have a duty to shovel your sidewalk or driveway. But if
Jason Philibom is an attorney. He says while the state says you don't have to, Cincinnati has an ordinance saying you do, and so you should. But you could open yourself up to liability if you don't do a good job.
If you're going to clear it, do it well. And if you're not going to do it well, don't do it at all.
While it's unlikely you'll get either a citation or a lawsuit, those like Mr. Brown are hoping you'll take the path of clarity. Now, for procrastinators, the problem will take care of itself when the sun comes out, at least until the next snowstorm. Brian Hamrick, WLWT News 5.
Why did he even have to go there? All right, so on the streets, the hazards really adding up for a lot of you drivers, we know too. So we're talking about damage to your car from all of those potholes popping up. Tonight at 5:30, one driver who says she was dinged twice, once by the road, then by her insurance company. And then new at 6 o'clock, what it takes to try and recoup your costs from the city of Cincinnati, the steps you need to take, and how often the city really pays out.
You can see the temperature bottom right on your screen is 30 degrees, so we're creeping up toward freezing in 32. And with that in mind, drivers are jumping at the chance to get all that snow and the salt off their cars. I did it this morning, by the way. This is video of the Rally's Car Wash on Montgomery Road, so plan on waiting in long lines for the next several days.
A dangerous winter wonderland created in Pierce Township today. A water main broke here along White Oak Road. The spray of water quickly turned to ice, as you can see there on the road, and even up in those trees. Look at them, they kind of look pretty. Repairs were somewhat delayed because of the branches that were falling.
Icy waters in Connecticut's Housatonic River have overflowed, forcing evacuations and closing roads and schools for more than a week now. Officials are afraid the temperatures will get high enough and may warm too fast and cause more havoc as the ice jam moves downriver. For a good chunk of December and January, it's been below 20 degrees, but the cold trend is now ending. The winter blast causing problems all across the nation in places like Texas, Atlanta, Georgia. Kevin showed you snow in New Orleans the other night, in Louisiana. They've had more than Madison, Wisconsin so far, believe it or not, in some of those southern places, and much of North Carolina frozen solid. The roads are really bad, a lot of crashes, and they aren't expected to improve until hopefully tomorrow.
All right, are you ready for a warm-up?
Yes.
I think Kevin Robinson may deliver for us. Here's Chief Meteorologist Kevin Robinson with your evening forecast. Hi there.
Hey, good evening, Mike and Cherie. Yeah, finally a day in which we were able to see the sunshine outside and step outside and actually be able to enjoy it without freezing, so to speak, out there. We finally got close to freezing today as we started our thaw out that's going to continue to take place heading into the weekend. I showed you this at the top of the show here. Temperatures across the Ohio Valley running 10 to 15 degrees warmer than they were yesterday at this exact very same time, and this is just the beginning. We're going to kick this trend into even higher gear heading into the upcoming weekend. Now, I mentioned last night too that our winds had switched around to the southwest. You see the effects, right? You throw in some sunshine, temperatures head close to freezing today. These winds are going to stay quite blustery through the night and even into Friday. Even over the weekend, it's going to be blustery. So even as we warm up, you might not really realize or notice that it's gotten as warm as it's going to get because of the breezy conditions. Now, temperatures hovering around the 30-degree mark at the moment. It's 29 in Blanchester, 31 in Mason. Springboro's coming in at 31. Harrison is at 31. It's 29 in Batesville and 28 around Falmouth. Within the 275 loop, most of us within a couple of degrees of that freezing mark. 32 in Sharonville. It's 33 in Westchester, 28 Madeira Hyde Park, 31 over right now near Delhi. So here's your evening forecast. Again, 20s are cold no matter how you look at it, but it just won't be as cold this evening. So instead of being in the teens, we're going to hover in the 20s around here the next few hours. Lots of sunshine across the three-state region today. This is going to continue over into your Friday. Here's a look at Futurecast. Really going to be quiet around here through the night tonight. Quiet as we head into your day on Friday. Looks like a sunny day. Temperatures will get into the upper 30s tomorrow. Tomorrow night looks very quiet as well. And then as we head into your Saturday, we're going to see partly cloudy skies on Saturday with even milder temperatures. Right now, it looks like the chance for rain is going to hold off until Sunday at the earliest. So for tonight, clearing, I'm going to go with not as brutal. How about 22 for an overnight low? Remember, with a little bit of a breeze, though, wind chills will still hover in the teens overnight. 38 tomorrow, sunny and yes, thawing out. That melting sound, the trickling of water, you're going to hear even more of that in the days ahead. Here's your day planner. 22 to start. We'll climb to 31 by lunchtime and then into the upper 30s late. Here's your 7-day forecast. If you've got Friday evening plans, this Friday looks much better than last Friday. If you remember, we had snow and cold moving in. Only 30 tomorrow night for a low and then 45 on Saturday. How about lows near 40 over the weekend? And then we push 50 on Sunday. I've been saying Sunday doesn't look terribly wet. I still think that's the case. We'll have some hit and miss showers. The weekend doesn't look bad, but the bulk of the rain will fall in here as we get into Monday. And then look at those temperatures next week, Mike and Shree. While it is cooler, it's not bad for late January.
Take it after what we've been through for sure, Kevin. Thank you. On a wing and a prayer, a flight attendant takes a walk down the aisle she will never forget.
The cabin crew couple married by the Pope on a plane. Why he agreed to this impromptu ceremony coming up next.
Plus, forbidden fruit. What was found inside a shipment of pineapples when we come back on Cincinnati's WLWT News 5.